All right, let's get to it. I feel like I ain't gonna pussyfoot around no more. Devin Haney. Devin Haney drops Brian Norman Jr. Put something on his ass. Uh, it to me, it was a good fight on paper. I felt like it was a 50-50 fight, and I was really, really excited for that fight. And Dev showed up. Uh, you were uh, you were your son's trainer,
Yeah,
but manager too. So this is not foreign to you. You've moved a fighter before. Your son's undefeated. You moved a fighter. You've been a promoter. You've been a trainer. You know the boxing business.
for sure.
What did you see?
It was a lot of things I saw. What you saw was the separation between a born boxer and a just a average boxer puncher. Also, you saw the difference between a managerial extraordinaire in Bill Haney and somebody who's just looking to get his feet wet, who thinks he knows what he's talking about and found out that he didn't know shit. And Brian
Mm.
Norman Sr. And look, hey, he can feel some type of way about it if he want to or not. Don't make me no difference. But the truth of the matter is, if you look at their styles, it never matched up. It never meshed well. The fight with Boots didn't mesh well. That's why you didn't want to fight. And and let me give you a little tidbit, which they already know already from the sparring. He's a much bigger puncher. He's got a much faster jab. And he's going to definitely put them punches together that's going to hurt you. And you ain't getting up if you fought that fight. If you bring that same fight that you brought to Devin Haney to Boots, you probably win the last 5 rounds. Simple as that. Now that's from the boxing aspect. Now we take it
Mm.
to the managerial aspect. I understand. Hey, look, for him as his manager, for him as his son's manager, your job is to get him the best payday that he can get, and he did. He sold the O to the highest bidder, and Turkey got some deep pockets, and
Mm.
you got paid. So you did what you were supposed to do. Now, when you take it to the trainer aspect, I love to listen. I don't really listen to the announcers, but I love to listen to what the trainers have to say in the corner. He gave no sort of great advice to the kid in the middle of battle to get him out of that jam that he was in. The kid was fighting on instinct. That's what the kid was fighting on. He was fighting on instinct. His
Mm.
instruction was dog shit. So I don't I'm sad for the kid because the kid came to fight. But as far as his father goes, all that shit you was talking, you didn't have that kid prepared for that fight. You know who Devin Haney is. We all know who Devin Haney is. If you're gonna fight Devin Haney, you're not gonna beat him in a boxing match. If you fight Boots, you're not gonna beat him in a boxing match. If you fight Abdullah Mason, you're not gonna beat him in a boxing match. If you fight Shakur Stevenson, you're not gonna beat him in a fucking boxing match. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna have to fight him.
Do you think that as a team they underestimated Devin? Because I know in the lead up to the fight, they was talking about what Devin didn't have. They said he was skinny, he didn't have any power. And I remember the face to face, Dev said, "What if I put you down?" He's like, "You can't put me down. You ain't got nothing in them gloves." He was like, "Okay, I want you to remember that. Remember that you said that with
I
the
remember.
timestamp." And that's kind of what I saw when he stepped over, like when he kind of like after he knocked him down, he kind of like hovered over him and
Yeah.
said something to him. And I think it was to those lines.
I think that well, I know that they definitely underestimated him. They definitely thought that, but this once again, this is where the father, especially because, and I used to always hear when I was training my son, I used to always hear, "Oh man, but you never was a pro boxer, but you never fought in the ring before." I understand that. Here's a time where him as a boxer, when you cutting weight, especially when you cutting as much weight as Dev was cutting. Dev was always a big 135. From the time he came out of the amateurs, he was a big 135. They knew he wasn't really supposed to be at 135 for real, for real. But he took his shot and he did what he had to do, and he was very professional about how he went about his business. He made weight every time. He never had to pay nobody. He never missed weight and lost a title on the scale. None of that nut shit that we've seen other 135s do. They know who I'm talking about. Anyway, with that being said, If the kid is moving up to 147, how don't y'all understand that he's going to carry power up with him because now he's actually going to his normal weight class.
Mm.
And he's a much slicker and better boxer than your son. Hey, look, no shade to nobody. He's a better fighter. He's a better all-around rounded boxer. Forget the casual shit. Forget all the who's bigger and who got bigger muscles. Muscles don't win fights. Skills pay the bills. They knew that already. Y'all decided that y'all was gonna try to match skills with a nigga that's more skilled than you. Doesn't make any sense. You got put down. It's normal.
I didn't understand. I thought they were going to like bring the fight to Dev. I thought that he was going to stalk Dev. I want him to stalk Dev behind the jab. I felt like that was the best course of action. Stalk him behind the jab and then cut the ring off. Use the jab while cutting the ring off and let your hands go. He seemed to try to box with Dev, and I was kind of surprised when I first saw that.
Why? That's what I'm at. Why would you try? Why would you try? It's like trying to box Floyd Mayweather. It's like trying to box, Shane Mosley. It's like trying to box guys that are master boxers. These guys have been brought up in the gym their whole life. They are the goods as far as boxing go. With Dev, you saw the only way you're going to beat him is if you catch him with some shit, a la Ryan Garcia, which I don't even count that because the motherfucker was on steroids, and it kills me that people keep bringing it up and saying, "Oh, well, Ryan beat him. I don't care. You can't erase this. You can't erase that." The man was on steroids, man. Like, hey, look, I'm not one to you definitely can't erase what you saw, but you also know that he never looked that way again. The next time you saw him, he looked like he was sucked down. He looked like he was small. When you saw him with Dev, he looked like He-Man, and he got beat. The
At
very
47,
the very next time out, he got beat
he got cooked. Rolly.
by
Yeah,
somebody who can't
outboxed.
box.
He got outboxed by Rolly.
By somebody that can't box. Now, here we go. Now here we go because everybody likes to look ahead instead of giving the man his credit. Now, if you put Rolly in the ring, well, you know what they're gonna say? Oh man, Rolly wasn't good, man. You know the casual fans, the casual dickheads. Oh man, Rolly wasn't that good though, but Brian Norman wasn't that good. All y'all kept talking about was him knocking Jen Sasaki out. Who the fuck was Jen Sasaki? What are we talking about right now? He did that. Real rap. Not to diminish that man's resume. He beat no A fighter whatsoever. He beat no A fighter. There was no A fighter or champion that he beat. If anybody can name me one, I'll shut the fuck up and cut this interview off.
Yo, he had a lot of buzz, right? Coming off of 3 great knockouts. Um, I feel like the social media aspect was really important. He did a lot of interviews, but also credit to Brad, man. Brad might be the best matchmaker in boxing. Top ranked. They know how to do it. They know how to make the guys look like $1 million. Do you think his level of star power, his recent star power and hype came from Brad or came from him, or a combination of the two?
It's a combination of the two, but I would definitely say more Brad because Top Rank moved him. Top Rank got him in the position that he was in. He did what he was supposed to do. He beat guys that and even in the Centillion fight, he wasn't supposed to win that fight. So I give him credit for the fights. But this is where you go into the level of the fighter that he was fighting. Centillion don't match up with a Linares. The next dude he fought don't match up with Regis Prograis. We talking about two different levels of fighting. When you switch levels of fighting, that's where you find out where you are. So when you see a guy like Devin Haney, he's been in huge fights. He's been in fights for multiple titles. He's been in unifications. He's been in undisputed fights. Brian Norman never been in none of that. What are we talking about? Like it's not. It's to me. It's not even a debate.
Were you surprised in the second round where Dev hooked with the hooker, visibly hurt him, wobbled him, and then went in for the kill?
Brian Norman's chin was never like that. I don't. This is what I'm saying. Anybody who's watched this fight, he's been put down. He's been wobbled. You've seen him visibly hurt and shaken. He was never that dude. That's why the whole shit bothered me with the boot shit. Because if you was gonna fight the nigga for the titles, you would have fought and somebody would have won 3 or 4 titles at the same time. You wanted more money, fine. You went and he went and sought out more money. Devin Haney and Turkey came with more money, fine. But you wasn't gonna beat either one of them. You was never that dude. You was never that dude. That's what me and you was talking about the last interview we had. You're
Yeah.
not that guy.
I think the biggest issue that I had is they tried to paint a picture that people from Philly hated him, people were from Philly hated on him, and we were against him. And just because we told our truth, and our truth is, they mentioned the sparring, but we talked about what we saw in the sparring, and then all of a sudden we just became haters. You had dudes picking Dev. Oh no, you only picking Dev because you hating on him. When everything that people from Philly said ended up transpiring. Y'all said that Dev couldn't hurt him. He did.
Anybody that puts on a pair of gloves can be hurt. It don't matter who you are. And we've seen the best, the greatest boxers of all times be hurt. People are going to get hurt. And it's not talking down on Brian Norman or talking down on Dev. We all know Dev is a master boxer. The only way you're going to beat Dev is if you touch that chin. It's the only way you're going to beat him. No, it's rarely going to be somebody that's going to outbox him. There's probably only 4 or 5 guys in the world that's going to outbox that kid at 147. That would be whether if he goes up and fights Boots, if he fights a Shakur Stevenson, if he fights maybe a Tiafimo, maybe uh maybe a Keyshawn. It's going to have to be somebody that's as sharp and as seasoned as he is. And if you're not as sharp or as seasoned as he is, you're not going to beat him unless you rough him up and touch him. Pause. That's the only way you beat the guy. It's the only way you beat one of those guys. Any one of those guys I named, and it's not joining these dudes or what they call young cats call glaze. It's not glaze. These dudes have been in the gym since they was fucking babies, man. They just sharp. They're super sharp, and you're not going to beat them unless you either rough them up or you knock them out. You hit them with a shot that they don't see.